Hi everyone, I'm super excited to host Mitch Hetrick, founder of Change the Culture. Thanks a lot for being on the show.
Of course. Thanks for having me.
Mitch, clearly your profile, it shows you have a lot of entrepreneurial journey. So from your college days to till this date, can you share a few highlights?
Yeah, of course. I didn't go to college at all. I was a big party animal growing up. And so that is all I cared about until I was probably 20 years old. I have music out on all platforms. I thought I was going to be a rock star growing up and went out to LA chasing the dream, living the lifestyle I thought was quote unquote cool and how I should live to the fullest because I always wanted to live to the fullest. I didn't want to be normal. I challenged everything and I lived it up until inevitably I hit a rock bottom and hit it really hard at a young age. And so since that age of 21 to now I'm 25, I've pursued personal development and every sense of what that word actually means, from health and wellness, untraditional education, impact, what makes you happy, how to find purpose and passion with your lifestyle. And it's kind of created everything I have pursued as far as untraditional education or my entrepreneurship journey.
And what would you say was the most pivotal point in this journey?
I think the most pivotal point in my life easily is just the rock bottom, quote unquote, which usually is just the moment you accept that the only thing that's going to create change is self-accountability. And when you do that for the first time in your life, especially at a young age, like 20 years old, when no one else your age has experienced that, I feel quite lonesome. Getting through that hump still is definitely the most pivotal moment of my life so far.
Any mentors or people who helped you grow in this journey you want to give a
Absolutely.
shout out to?
Everything has been mentorship. I would be nowhere without the lucky relationships I've built over the last 5 years. So I think every stride, every decision I've made, every big investment has been from the advice of a mentor I could rely on.
And you have carved a very unique path, which is not usual among your peers. So when you have moments of self-doubt, like how do you navigate?
Probably the community. I think that with change of culture, I think people here make an impact in the world and they think so big. They're like, how do I change the world? But really, like when you change the culture, you start with the dynamics of the friend group around you. Your friends are your future. We've all heard that. And so the number one thing you should change in your life at first is the people that you can find and you celebrate with on a day-to-day basis. And so the biggest accountability and support system I have in my life right now is my best friends. I love my best friends and it took me years to find them and they are the best friends a person could ask for.
What are things you learned the hard way?
Things I learned the hard way. I think the simple answer would be everything. I feel like I learned the hard way. I think when you're ambitious, you can be ambitious in the wrong ways too. So I've always gone 0 to 100, and whether that's in the right way or the totally wrong way. And so the hardest lessons I've definitely had to learn is sobriety. I'm completely sober right now, and I'm a big proponent of having fun without means of what everyone else is doing it. But I did have to learn that the hard way after lots and lots of late nights and regrets in the morning. And with fitness, I didn't just go to the gym on my own. I had to hit a very hard rock bottom, like I said, to start caring about my health. I had to almost die and to break my arm and get severely overweight for me to make the decision to get fit. And so almost all of the personal development aspects that I am a proponent of now, I learned the very hard way.
In looking back, if you want to start a new business now, what's your playbook?
I think the playbook is not the playbook itself, but why are you choosing the playbook you are is more important. Simon Sinek has a book called Start With Why. And I think that's a big piece missing from most entrepreneurs' start. I think everybody's obsessed with the end result, getting the money, and it's good to focus on the end result. But I don't think they're asking enough about their heart posture, why they're doing something, and what it's actually going to bring at the end of the day. Once you have 10 million in the bank, are you going to be happy? Once you exit this company, are you going to be happy? We see with Loom, the recorder on here. The guy's very public with, he sold the company for a ridiculous amount of money and he's unhappy and he's posting about it. He's like, I won life and I don't know what to do because he didn't start with passion. Like, shout out him. He did great, but now he's almost at this like rebirth of money isn't everything. Where do I go? So if you can learn the hard lessons from people that are past you that have won the game of life of how you determine it now, which is just money and success, you're going to realize the game of life is not just money and success. So I think it's more important to start with that before you start your business and help that guide why you're starting what you're starting.
So once one have clarity about the why, about the business and the mission, how do they go to finding their first set of paid customers, what to offer, what service? Like a lot of people struggle in like the first momentum of running the business.
I think people are afraid to ask their friends and family. It's embarrassing. They want to appear successful before they ask for help. And that's a totally wrong way to do it. If you come from an authentic place and you have a great why, other people will recognize that and they will be eager to help you. I have seen that over and over again in my life. I've gotten lucky because I've made the ask, because I've networked and tracked my networking meticulously. And when you have the right ask, the answer is usually hell yes. And to figure out how to get a hell yes and be confident in your pitch, and then go pitch your friends, go pitch your family, go to your local networking groups, go to your local business club, ask if you can speak and give a presentation, because the answer will usually be yes. And I don't think people realize that. You can reach out to a local business club and just give a presentation to 50 people. And right there, you're going to get 10 clients from that. All those, let's say 10 of those 50 people ask you about your business more because they liked your presentation. Those 10 people, you can ask for several more connections from each one. And then all of a sudden you have 100 people in your pipeline in a week. And it doesn't have to be necessarily a client. I think networking is overlooked, just building relationships authentically. Relationships are more important in your client pipeline because you'll get better clients through relationships to start.
How do you see your company culture moving forward? What's your vision 3 years from now?
3 years from now, I think there's two major arms we want to do. One is what I truly believe is missing is boots on the ground impact. I think we need more young leaders, not just influencers online, making a real difference in their community. We need these smart minds that have access to more resources than ever, that understand social media and technology more than anyone else, actually at government council meetings, going to nonprofit board meetings, coaching youth sports teams, giving back to their community, and helping each other find passion and purpose so we can truly change the world and let America be a shining example to other cultures. But we have to go that direction. So I think inspiring young leaders where we are, feet on the ground, is one arm. And the other arm is I'm speaking at a gala called the Best Day Ever Foundation on December 12th. And we are bringing a media team in to record a day-long vlog for one of his impact projects. The Best Day Ever Foundation basically is like Make-A-Wish, but they provide the best day ever for people who went through a hard time, whether a house fire, someone whose child died from suicide, someone who got diagnosed with cancer. Just a few recent examples. And so we're going to take a 13-year-old boy who recently had a stroke, can't use half his body, to Ferrari Burnett, meet San Antonio Spurs players, to Legoland, and we're going to document the whole thing. So Change the Culture is bringing in the sponsor connections and the media to the Best Day Ever Foundation so that we can amplify his impact and his quality of media so he can impact more people. So boots on the ground impact is one. And the third is amplifying via the internet impact of leaders who are already doing amazing things so we can reach the millions of people who need the seed planted and then reach the people who really need their lives changed locally. And so in 3 years from now, hopefully we're doing something like that every single month. And I have a team of other people who can help us do more.
That's incredible. How can people who are listening or watching this can support you?
I think the easiest way to support me is just to hop on a call. I'm an open book. I love to talk to people. I think if you help somebody, whether it's just a single piece of advice, it always comes back tenfold. I think we're always looking to get something from others way too much. If you can take a step back and see what service you can provide to others, sometimes it's not money. Sometimes it's not even a ton of time. Sometimes it's just a single sentence can really drop a seed and change the trajectory of someone's life. So I would love to serve anybody I can, hop on a call. I think that's my biggest ask is just reach out. I'm happy to hop on a call like this anytime.
If you had unlimited time and money, what are some things additional to this you would?
Additionally to, man, I love to have fun. Like I said, I was a party animal, but now through sobriety, I try to have fun in my own way, redefine living to the fullest. And I love horseback riding the mountains. I just did that in Colombia, visiting a local coffee farm. I love to go to giant water parks with a big group of friends because 20 young adults should be able to do that, not just go to a bar. So I would spend the time with the people I love around me, having the most adventurous experiences we could.
Is there a book or a video that made a big impact in your life?
I'm trying to think of a book that maybe most people haven't heard of. Anna West, or West, I don't know how to pronounce her last name. She wrote a book called The Mountain Is You, which is basically a self-accountability book. And that I read it the perfect time in my life. And so I always recommend that book to people who are trying to go through a large transition in their life, because you're never going to have that large change in your own life unless it starts with yourself.
Who's your role model?
My role model? I think my parents are my role models right now. I used to think I was so different from them. And the older I get, the more I realize I want to embody their characteristics. I'm super lucky to have the parents I do. And I hope that I can just take their characteristics and amplify them, mix in with the outgoing nature that I have. So I'd say my parents.
For a teenage listening to this and wants to start their own business, what are the skills you recommend they should learn and how can they operate the business?
I think to know what skills to learn, you need to know a little bit more about yourself. That's a super daunting topic. How do you know about yourself? There's tools like Clifton Strengths from Gallup that are advanced. Oh, I lost the light. Advanced personality tests. So I think if you learn your unique personality and the natural skills you have, it's easy to personalize personal development and figure out, okay, what complementary things do I really need to work on that complement my natural talents? And I think that's a great way to learn more about yourself, because then you have the ability to be a conscious thinker and think about things more deeply. So not just taking advice at a surface level, but does this advice apply to me and what I'm trying to grow? Because I think learning how to think is just as important as learning itself.
Speaking of advice, what's the best piece of advice you have received till date?
I think we always hear that you have so much time, but I'm not a fan of that statement at all. I don't think we have much time. I think we need to treat every single day with an immense amount of gratitude and remember that we have an able body to move, a sharp mind to think, and infinite opportunity no matter what situation you're in. And that's easy coming from someone like me. I get that. But I think that the lesson is still very apparent that gratitude is the key to happiness. And so any piece of advice that has supported that, I think, has been really impactful for me.
If you were to teach a master class, what topic would you talk about?
I think the influence of popular culture in American society, what drives the next generation to make the decisions they do, perceive fun the way they do, build community the way they do, pursue the things they are pursuing, and how we can take that same influence and kind of flip it on its head for good. Because I don't think we need to burn it down or try to convince a kid who loves partying to read a Jordan Peterson book, because he never will. I just think we need to rebrand Jordan Peterson to meet them where they're at.
Do you have systems or tools in place that helps you grow and learn?
Absolutely. I use Notion every day. I have a weekly review that I personally made for myself from my own CRM just to touch base with people, remind me to reach out to them. I've made my own tools. I am such a proponent of Notion because, yep, I have a vision board on there. I have reminders. I have auto suggestion, and it's a daily system. I would fall apart in a week without it, to be honest. I think success comes from systems entirely. So if you can build your own personal systems and not rely on somebody else's mind that created a system, it's important. I definitely think you should build your own systems and not just rely on third-party systems.
Notion with your own personalized system. I want to do a rapid fire where you have like 5 to 10 seconds to answer and you got to keep it super brief.
Okay.
Your favorite restaurant?
Somi in Tampa.
A city which is in your travel bucket list?
Sydney.
One thing which most people don't know about you but would be surprised to know?
I got a second-degree black belt in Taekwondo when I was younger.
3 words your best friend would describe you as?
Ambitious, loud, and fun.
An advice you would give to 18-year-old self?
Take some time to think alone more. Don't let the world distract you so much.
Do you have any regret? What's the most least expensive thing you bought which made the biggest impact in your life?
It's a good question. I think anything that ties to a memory, like traveling, you buy a trinket that reminds you of that experience. I think something that's tied to a memory and experience with loved ones.
Anything which we didn't cover in this interview and we'd like to end on that note?
I think you asked great questions. I appreciate the interview. I love what you're doing. I think this is an amazing way to connect with people. And brick by brick, if you keep doing this, success is inevitable. So kudos to you for doing this and asking good questions. And I think that's the only other thing I would like to cover is calling out everyone else to do something. If you have a passion, you need to pick something to do and do it every single day and improve at it, because you will draw in what you're looking for.
I really appreciate your kind words and thanks a lot for sharing your story.
Of course. Thank you so much for having me on.